This is the most impractical cobblestone generator that I've ever made. Not good. Nice. Nice. Bam. Bam. No. There we go. Bam bam. And... bam. Excellent. Almost. And perfection. And that's how you get iron. So, with iron out of the way, it's time for a mechanical drill. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to part 2. Me creating a skyblock mod pack. This time, going into the void. Because I was out of food. And somehow this happened. Fine, I'll quickly fix that too. So, as I was saying, this is the part 2 of our little skyblock series, where I'm going to be attempting to create kind of a better advancement system for connecting multiple mods and hopefully make it a little bit more interesting and playable. But, first things first, I need to survive a little bit better because jumping off platform to restore my hunger is not exactly optimal. Also, what I would like to do today is make somewhat automated cobblestone generator as well. And as I mentioned, for that I'm going to need a mechanical drill, which is going to be actually somewhat quick and easy to make. I just need a couple of resources here and there, this, and my alloys I already have. Good. So, grabbing that, and mechanical drill is ready with another iron ingot as a reward from our advancement system. Great. Now just to figure out how to connect this all together and make it work. So first, I guess I'll have to fix my pickaxe, so let's start by making a little bit flint and stony pickaxe set and switching it around with my broken pickaxe. And the result? Oh, not needed. Though before any automation, I've decided to start a little garden, because of course you are going to need that food as well as, well, a few other resources. Like, let's say, kelp. Which we can then smelt away into dried kelp. And from that we can do a few other things if we needed to. As you can see. Bum, 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 and bum. And that should almost... well, and done. With that... yes! We are making our first cobblestone, which we can pick up very easily and process around here by throwing it into the middle, letting it grind. There we go, first 2 gravel that we can throw here. And a few more moments later, we get nothing. But the idea is actually correct. We would get either flint or iron here by processing it around. It's not fully automated, by no means, but the fact that it just mines cobblestone automatically is more than I would ask for right now. Well, I'm asking for it actually. That's why I built this. Tried to go for style points as well. As you can see, I utilized this mechanic of, well, horizontal water wheel. Now, as the cobblestone is getting generated, I would like to show you another thing that I've added into the mod. First of all, we were talking last time about disabling this data pack in case you wanted to play normal survival. That can be now done. I have added it, as you can see. This little red text tells you that you can disable this data pack by crafting seeds, and it also resets the advancement. What that actually means is that if we come here and break this, get a few more seeds, I can now place them into the crafting grid, and as you can see, this is some random non-item ritual result. That's an item that I found in occultism and decided that it's great for this, and basically once you craft this, it will turn off the advancement itself. But since it does reset the advancements, I am not going to do it. Now, I'm going to show you as well how it looks like in the code itself. So, as you can see, the root... Well, let's move to the disable first. Once you unlock the recipe, basically once you craft the seeds, what it does is that it triggers the function datapack disable. And when we look for it right here, it first of all takes away from you the actual knowledge of that recipe. Second, it enables insomnia, which is by default on skyblock disabled. It does enable weather cycle, which I've decided to disable again, and it tells you that this skyblock datapack is actually disabled. And then it disables the datapack. And if you want to enable it, you just reconnect. I don't know how exactly to stop that, but I don't mind it that much. I think it still works, even though you still, if you want to keep disabling this, you can just craft from seeds, which I don't think is that much of an issue. It's, well, it's odd. But the problem with this is that basically it's a global data pack. What does it mean? I've added a mod that allows global data packs. Basically, whatever you throw into that folder is going to be active in all the worlds, on all the safes that you are playing. And basically when you disable it, you can disable it only temporarily. And I don't know how to work around it yet, and I think that it works fine right now. And actually I think that it can work even better if I decided to do this. Well, not this, but find the disable, which is here. And instead of occultism Jaden dummy, how about we make it craft seeds? Seeds. Very well. And once you, well, if you want to enable the data pack, what it does, it automatically triggers the root advancement, which in turn triggers the pack add-ons root function. And that, once you log into your single player world or multiplayer, basically, if it's for the first time or after disabling the modpack, what it's going to do is disable insomnia and disable the weather cycle. And I actually want to expand on the weather cycle because with occultism and the and the evilcraft itself, you can actually use the weather cycle to your advantage to an extent. So disabling it is actually intentional feature. Just getting some more iron. Could be any minute now. There we go. So this is from stack of gravel. We can make another ingot. Excellent. Also, I have forgotten to mention the water dual wielding, which is a rename of the previous bucket advancement. I have actually managed to find a way how to work around it. For that, we are going to need 2 water buckets, and actually, I think I might have a little bit messed up here, because, well, never mind, I do have 2 water buckets. So, I can just pick those 2 up and demonstrate very easily. By, not recipe, but advancement, revoke me only, and it's going to be called water. Oh, like back. Add-ons, water. Now, how do you actually get this achievement? Well, it's not just enough to have 2 buckets, but if you do have 1 bucket in your offhand and 1 empty bucket in your main hand, you can just pick up water and it gives you the achievement or the advancement. I have been trying to find an alternative way, but this is the best that I could have managed, unfortunately. And so I have decided that perhaps it would be useful for you to have a wrench and engineer's goggles. However, because they are craftable a little bit later on with gold, which I will implement, I was thinking maybe adding them as a reward a little bit earlier for, well, crafting some of the other, maybe less necessary items. So, let's see if we can get them. Like so. And finally, like so. And here we have our 2 achievements that I was missing. And as a result, we get the wrench and engineer's goggles. Excellent. And this is basically what it does. Well, most of the body is the same, but here we have the trigger for inventory changing, and it checks whether you have millstone, mechanical drill, mechanical press, mixer and fan in your inventory with minimum of 1 item for all of them. Simple enough. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do with these, but I want to include them in some recipe. Now, I would however love to automate this because the generation of iron will be pretty necessary. And I don't really want to do it manually, even though, yeah, I could keep doing this, but just not really the way I want to do it. And now, if I did everything correctly, it should just work if I do this. So, as you can see, all the cobblestone moves upwards, where I forgot to place another one of these, and it gets inserted into this mill, then grinds it down, throws it into the water. The fan moves it forward, and as it is getting moved, it's also getting washed. And once it gets washed, and it actually drops an item, which we should see in a few moments, there we go, it drops into the chest. And yes, it does appear to be working overall quite well. The question is if it's going to clock anywhere, because I have no idea how much this produces and how much that produces. Oh, guess we're about to see. It seems like the bottleneck, or yeah, it's going to be this thing, the actual production of cobblestone. This one I think is running a little bit faster. Though it does have one slight disadvantage of me getting stuck. Or, not me getting stuck, but picking up the items when standing here. Which I'm not particularly fond of. Maybe I could perhaps make that a little bit better. So, not right now, it's not necessary. It is working now, it is going to produce iron while I AFK. And in case you want to know how this belt is connected all together, well, like so. Whoa, this got a little bit worse than I remember. Maybe we could actually do something like this about it, and ha. So now when we have a look, it just redirects from the bottom of this water wheel the energy through one gearbox to another, then it powers this belt, inverts the direction with 2 cogs against each other, and then just this one with this encased chain drive, it powers this one as well, and everything seems to be working as it should. And I would also love to say that this horizontal water wheel is actually kind of fun to throw items in, because they just go around, and as you can see, they just get thrown into the void. Well, once I have that there. So I might be actually using that later on for some fun things, some fun item, item transport. And it also would appear that belts no longer take stress. No longer take any energy, which is a lovely change that I wanted in Forever. I understand that when it transports items, it should probably take a little bit of stress energy, but the fact that even like vertical belts took energy, that just didn't seem right, because it discouraged you from using it into actually transferring power. But this, excellent change, I love it. But for now, it all seems to be working as intended, which is absolutely brilliant. Here, continue. And I do believe that's going to do it for this episode. I did everything I wanted to, and for next episode, I guess we either do more automation or we look at the first magic, because for Brass Age, which is going to be a little bit further this direction, I'm just going to be using some summoning rituals from occultism to get blazes for the blaze burners. I think that's going to be quite interesting. So let's see later on if I actually manage to script it in. But for now, goodbye.